Our destination today is the tip top of the tallest tower in Super Mario 3D Land. One of the things I find most impressive about Super Mario 3D Land is the sense of depth that some places have in this game. Despite having a restrictive camera, we can stumble upon some truly massive places. And by far the biggest place that comes to mind is Bowser's final castle in the game. But of course, we only get to explore a small fraction of it. Our journey only takes us up so far before we start the final fight, but today we're going to try to make it up to the very top. Can you reach the summit of Bowser's final castle in Super Mario 3D Land? Let's find out. And if you enjoy these bizarre videos on your favorite games, consider subscribing right now. Most people watching aren't subscribed, and you can always unsubscribe later if you lose interest. When you're attempting to scale the tallest tower in the game, you definitely want to fly under the radar so nobody sees you coming. And much like climbing this giant digital tower, it's important to protect your own privacy as well. Thankfully, private internet access is here to help. Private Internet Access is a leading virtual private network provider with 30 million downloads all across the world. Whether you're on Windows, iOS, Android, or other platforms, Private Internet Access has you covered, allowing you to encrypt your data and hide your IP address, so your connection is protected and appears to be coming from elsewhere. Besides protection, changing your connection's location will also allow you to watch region-blocked content on Netflix, Hulu, and other platforms. Hiding your IP also means you're going to throw off those creepy ads that track your location online. Private Internet Access has a strict no-logs policy, meaning your data isn't stored on their end either. And scaling this across all your devices is pretty easy, since one subscription lets you protect up to 10 devices at once. So if you want to keep your private information, well, private, click my link in the description below right now to get private internet access for less than $3 a month and get 3 extra months free. There's even a 30-day money-back guarantee. And a big thanks to Private Internet Access for supporting my channel and sponsoring this video. World 8's final Bowser Castle is a pretty strange stage. Honestly, it feels like a deadly roller coaster ride more than a castle. Not that any castle in this game makes sense to begin with, but this one is absolutely absurd. Bowser, did you commission a giant stone Bowser head to be your gate? Anyways, as a brief recap of how the stage plays out, you essentially fall into a cart that takes you through Bowser's mouth into a castle interior area. The place is flooded with lava and honestly has seen better days, as it's pretty much falling apart. After looping around, we make our way through a lava tunnel that boosts us high into the air. Then, after climbing a large staircase, we're presented with a cannon and an absolutely massive view of the area. Bowser certainly went all out on this place. There has to be hundreds of rooms. Rooms I wouldn't want to be in, seeing as there's flowing lava right above them on the ceiling. Anyways, we hitch a ride in 2 cannons, blasting far away deeper into the level until we ultimately reach Bowser's door. But this giant place is where we want to be. If we head through the door, the cutscene triggers and warps us to the final fight. Back on this ledge with the purple carpet, we find ourselves hundreds, if not thousands of feet in the air. But there's still quite a ways up that we don't go. And when presented with huge objects in video games, who doesn't want to make it up top? But there's a major issue with doing so. It's blocked by invisible, deadly forces. Sure, we have cannons that we can hop into, and we have free reign to fire wherever we want to go. But invisible zones govern our every move. Firing at any places that aren't intended make our hero die. We're enclosed in an invisible box that has death on all sides. So how do we move forward? We can't. That's actually it. Or at least that's how it seems. So there's nothing in the game that will allow us to get to where we need to go. And even cheating presents us with an interesting issue, because the game designers went the extra mile with every single part of this castle. Despite the castle having open sections within it, there is always a ceiling present that our character can't go through. We're boxed in for the entire castle, so even if we have a moon jump active, we're stuck. Trying to moon jump outwards or even upwards from the cannon portion of the castle leads to death too. Death is all around us and we can't escape. However, there is one break in this logic that grants us freedom. So because the map is massive, each section loads and unloads when we advance forward. And if we locate the loading and unloading point, that means we can find a break in the game's logic. And such a point can be found right after the lava river that launches us high into the air. The previous section unloads, and the next section loads, as we come up this giant staircase. So even though the walls of the area are enclosed and serve as permanent barriers, we can target the back half of the room where the dividing line is. Normally the collision here is from the previous section, but because we're on the loading line, we can move upwards past this trigger and use it to break out of bounds. But that doesn't mean we're home free though, because this entire area is still surrounded by death planes for the next section, and we can easily die. So we need to go far out of bounds, way up into the air, and then back into bounds using the staircase hallway as a visual guide, as everything else will be unloaded. The death planes for the final room are massive, because the player has the ability to shoot anywhere they want with a cannon. But if we take a few minutes to travel around them, we can actually get above this entire area and drop down from above, slowly advancing towards the castle. And now this part I was nervous, because it takes almost the entire duration of the in-game clock to get here. And if you die, you go all the way back to the start. I didn't know where the death planes ended, so it's possible that coming out this way would still kill me. But I had hope, and eventually that hope paid off. Luigi made his way to the tip top of the tower, and the flag spawned in as I landed. We were above the death planes, standing on top of the tallest structure in the game, standing in a place no player had probably ever stood before. Sure, we're talking about a Mario game, but it's kind of cool to have that standing on the moon feeling, you know? That lonely, existential feeling. The collision for the model didn't line up exactly, so we were inside the orangish-yellow area, but it was kind of neat being up here. We were lucky that the death planes just ended near the tip top of the castle, and if we were just to slide down even a little bit, we would find ourselves dying. So yes, it's absolutely pointless, but we can reach the summit of Bowser's largest castle in Super Mario 3D Land. I hope you enjoyed this short trip out of bounds. And until my next video, cheers.